I'm a fan of the star we are.
What's up, everybody? I'm Super Cowboy.
And I'm Princess Angie, and you are tuned in to The Star We Are.
Hi, this is Jane Slater, and you are listening to The Star We Are.
Plugged in and switched on. This is The Star We Are, live.
Hello,
What's up, gang? We are back. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, how we feeling?
Yay. Excited for another stress-free, marvelous Tuesday. I mean, I guess today's almost over, but you know what I meant.
Yeah, a lot of content put out this
Stress-free
week.
part.
Yeah, a lot of content put out this week. Excited for the Super Bowl.
I'm so excited, but I'm so sad, guys. Football season. I mean, our season's over, but it's over.
And to be fair, Coach, I'm excited to see one team win the Super Bowl.
And luckily, with this content creation side of things, last off season I got the taste of it. Moves a lot faster. You know, getting through the off season when you're still breaking news, even in late February, like I'm sure we will be in a couple weeks. Making signings, scouting combine, draft process.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
Exciting stuff.
Well, guys, right in the middle, you got the one and only Slam and Sammy.
Wow.
We got your man Landry's Legend. I'm your man Jimmy J's Hair. We are the Star We Are. Are you? Thank you for joining us this Tuesday. Every Tuesday live at 6 p.m. Sometimes 6:05, sometimes 6:15. You just never know. Sam might have hair. Jimmy might have makeup. Go late. You just never know. No, I'm just kidding. So, but we're gonna get right into this show.
Is always okay.
It is. It's not a big problem. So we'll give you some updates here in a second. Jimmy will let you know everything, that the Star We Are has going on and coming up, and what you can be on the lookout for, raffle wise, stuff like that. So be tuned in for that. And then obviously, second, in one of my favorite segments, Samantha is going to let you know everything about everything you need to know about. Okay, or some right?
Know
Did I
about
say that right?
everything
Yeah.
you need to know about. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, okay.
I like that.
Good. She's going to give that to you when Sammy says it all and give us some news. And then we will put in the quarter, get on the ride up and down, around and around with the flow on the carousel. All good things with the motion, with these coaches, and see what this new staff looks like. We've got the full
That was
list now.
Cowboys coaching carousel.
They're all hired, right? I think are we full? I think we're full. So we're going to go over the big list there. And then of course, once again, another weekly segment we're going to bring to you this offseason. We've got to coach some fans who think they can do it like the pros. And I'm going to just, a little foreshadowing. They cannot. Okay.
Really?
So, well, maybe there's some out there. We'll look. We'll see what it is. We'll take a look, and then we'll have some halftime. We'll blow the whistle. We'll get some refreshments if you need. We'll give you a minute to take a break. We'll remind you to fan responsibly, all the good things. And then right after halftime, I'm so excited to bring in a very special guest. Your guy, Nix, is going to be on the show with us today. I asked him late. He was awesome enough to bless us with his time. So we didn't have an overlay for him, but we do have a stinger for him when he comes in. And he'll come in with us to talk about this freaking Luka Doncic trade, where Mr. Luka Laker Doncic.
Yeah, you fooled me. Because right as I was clicking to it, you were saying, I'm so excited, but you were, alluding to Knicks, because I thought you were about to say you're so excited about this, and I haven't met a person, or heard from a person in the United States who thinks this was a good idea. Anyways,
Well,
we'll get there.
well, I don't know. If you ask some people in LA, they may love it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I heard
I'm sure they will.
77 is going to be, 77 Lakers jersey is going to be the most popular along frat houses.
Oh,
Comedy. Anyways.
perfect.
And so what we'll actually do, and Coach had this wrong. We're gonna hit a rain check on this. We'll actually do draft focus right after the news, us three, and we'll just kind of give our particular top 4 needs on this draft list and kind of where we would focus our attention. And then we'll save coaching carousel for Nick's because he'll know some info about these coaches, and we definitely want to pick his mind. Super knowledgeable about guys around the league. And so we'll do that. We'll kind of switch those two topics. And then of course, with Nick's on, we'll talk about the Super Bowl coming up. We've got some stats, we've got some numbers, some over under lines, some point lines, some passing yard lines, and we're going to see if maybe somebody feels like those lines are wrong and somebody's going to go way over or way under them. Okay. Y'all make me do it. I hate that you force me to do it every week.
I
I
love
told
it.
him I'd get one in. All right. And then Landry's going to get us up out of here at the final 2 minutes of the hour with a little 2-minute spiel. Blow that whistle and close it up and wrap up the show. And that's your show for this Tuesday, guys. I'm
Whoop, whoop.
excited.
Me
February
too.
4th, Super
Oh,
Bowl week. Let's do it. Let's get right into
Alrighty.
it. So, story hour updates. Jimmy's got a couple for you, and I'll let you know. What you can do is be on the lookout for this raffle. What raffle you say, Jimmy? Oh, well, we got another double jersey raffle. Those 2 jerseys are going to be Michael Mitchell on that 75th anniversary throwback. The 88 jersey, we are in the works right now to travel down to Texas and North Dallas, Texas, to Playmakers 88 Bar and Grill, and we're going to get that jersey hand signed personally. We're getting that in the works before we run the raffle, so be on the lookout for that. We've also got some new shows coming up this off season that will be kicking off at least our first couple episodes of Athlete to Athlete, where it'll be a 32 a minute long sort of podcast video that you can watch, and then also make sure that you be on the lookout for things that Coach and I are doing on the side, coaching coach to coach, where we have the great MVP debate recently. We've talked about some of the new coach hires. We've talked about Ashton Genty and the run game changer, and is he worth the 12th round pick? And so make sure you're on the lookout for all the new stuff we have going on YouTube. And those are our updates, I believe, for this week, Coach. I believe that's all that's new so far.
So far. I like it. Always ready.
So be on the
for
lookout for
something
those
else.
things. Yeah. I'm ready to kick off Athlete to Athlete. It's
Yeah.
going to be a tough one to pull off, but it's in the works.
That,
What were you saying,
I am-
Coach? Landry, did you
Oh, a
saying
little bit of audio issues, a little camera and audio connection issue. Yeah, a little audio connection issue during your updates there, but hopefully everybody got most of them. We can clean that up.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you can let us know, guys, if you're in the chats with us to if you had a problem hearing us, see me, or maybe if it was just on Landry's end. But what we will do is, I know right now we don't have a problem seeing and hearing Miss Slam and Sammy. So what we are going to do is get into some news and hit us with it. What's new this
Yay.
week, Sammy?
Okay, well, I kind of wrote my notes all over the place, so they might not be in order, but I'm going to give you what I got. I know a lot of people checked out of the Pro Bowl, saying it gets more and more boring every year, but I personally love to see all the players playing just for fun. It's stress-free. They're all just having fun with it, and some players are even switching sides. Cavante Turpin. So I did not watch the Pro Bowl just because it was really nice out here this weekend, so I was busy. But Sunday I did check in. Cavante Turpin played on the defensive side thanks to Eli Manning, and was amazing. I was so shocked. He's so little, but man, that speed is a game changer in some flag football. He ended up with it's so funny to say this, but 5 total tackles. And I'm going to go into some detail about a couple key things that happened that I was lucky enough to watch. Joey B, he's fast, he's pretty good, but man, Turpin got him, and he stopped him from doing a 2-point conversion, which Joey kind of laughed when it happened. He knew that Turpin got him, which was awesome. There was also a news article when I was looking up the news, said Joey B attempts to juke out Turpin and fails miserably. Oof, rough. I love it.
And and while you're mentioning Joey B, we didn't watch all of the Pro Bowl stuff, but I did see some of the highlights of Joey B on the accuracy, and he killed it. I just had to bring that in there since you were talking about him. He absolutely killed it on the accuracy games. Pro Bowl's fun stuff.
It is, and I think the games are enjoyment, not competition, just a little bit of off-season fun, and I loved everybody, different teams laughing and playing and joking.
Definitely the last couple of years as they've transitioned back to away from the game with the pads and the helmets on where guys were really not trying at all, and into the flag football where no one's going to get hurt and they're a little more free and more the skills competition.
Yeah.
It's been better the past couple of years.
I
Yeah,
like it that way. I've noticed a lot of people don't, and I don't understand why, because I don't know, it's fun, and you get to see some real
It is.
skills.
Yeah, when those players get to have more fun, you're going to get some more fun out of the fans. It feels more enjoyable. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of enjoyment, here's another cool thing Cavante Turpin did. Russell Wilson was playing as quarterback during the flag football, and he pinned Russell Wilson for a 9-yard loss, also in that same Sunday flag football game. And then the last thing he did that I seen, which I freaking loved, Brian Thomas Jr. was running. Dude was ready to make this touchdown. Turpin ran up to him, caught him, and pulled his flag at the 1-yard line, preventing him from getting the touchdown. And oh my gosh, it was so exciting to watch, just because I don't know if this was real, Turpin would be in a lot of hurt, but instead he was causing a lot of hurt, and it was amazing to see. He did have a couple quotes saying that he said, I felt like on defense, on the blitz, I got the quarterbacks rattled and had them throwing fast balls. He said, I was supposed to win MVP. I don't know why they didn't give it to me, but it's all fun and games, and I feel like everybody had fun, and it was all worth it. Jared Goff and Byron Murphy did win for MVP during that, but if NFC is good at one thing, it is flag football. Joke. We did win 76-63 in that flag football game. I know. It was funny. Man, but Patrick killing it in the Super Bowl is ugh. Anyways.
Yeah.
So, another thing I got to see was Micah Parsons. During warm-ups, just kind of stretching, goofing, he took some reps at wide receiver. He was running down the field. Dude is fast. Dude has hands. He can catch. I don't know if there is something that Micah Parsons can't do on the football field. Incredible. There was another title that I seen for an article that absolutely killed me, because in 2022, Micah beat Tyreek Hill in the speed race. Well, it said, Dallas Cowboys superstar Micah Parsons calls himself the Lion, but looked more like a cheetah during the Pro Bowl games.
Mm-hmm.
He was fast, and he
Ouch.
yeah,
Stole his moniker.
I love it. Tyreek Hill's kind of drama, so give it to somebody who deserves it. Sorry, I need to quit being so opinionated here. And then on this, I can't remember what the game was called, but he took on Patrick Queen, and they did this race. They had to grab, I believe, their face off of this board, and then they did the tire drill, and then they ran through, I believe, there was an AFC side and an NFC side, of course. They had to run through 4 poster boards with their NFC, for example, on it, and then tackle a dummy. Micah Parsons smoked Patrick Queen so bad. Another exciting moment. Enough with the Pro Bowl games. I could talk about more, but we got more news to share. This is a little bit outside of the Dallas Cowboys, but shocking but not shocking things that I read. Myles Garrett requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. I feel like at the beginning of this season, even considering the Browns' position, I didn't expect it. I kind of thought he was like a Max Crosby, just, this is my team, this is who I'm sticking with, I'm, ride or die. But he did say, I love this, I feel so bad, he doesn't want to go from Cleveland to Canton, and it took me a second to process it, but it all makes sense, and I'm happy for him. I hope he goes somewhere that we don't have to play him anymore, or on our team. Another thing about trades is Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was kind of told at the very last minute about the trade, and he was really upset. He didn't want to leave the Rams. That's been his home. That's where he's been. Sorry. Wow, I don't know what happened there. He planned on retiring there, but he did say that his conditioning and everything, this past, the little bit of the offseason they had, he's been killing it, been doing better, and he is ready, no matter where he's at, to give it his all and presumably have one of the best seasons he's ever had. This is just a random thing. I told you guys I put it in random order. Shador said something about knowing the Giants field and playing there before, and another thing I can't remember. So there is a lot of speculation that he is going to the Giants. I pray to the wonderful man up above that does not happen. Please, no. But I also heard that Dion, I don't know how accurate this is, doesn't want him or is going to try to convince him not to because of how bad taxes are in there, and he wants to get Shador his money's worth. Another random thing here is they did a questionnaire for Brandon Aubrey, and this kind of tickled me, but it also kind of makes sense. They asked him if he was not a kicker, what position would he want to be? What do you guys think he said? Did you watch the video?
I have not seen that.
He said he would want to be a wide receiver. And he said a wide receiver baby. Like he was, woo, I could do this. But
well, I do know that Brandon Aubrey's favorite player is Des Bryant.
That was next on my list. He said his wife, his mom, everybody had Des Bryant jerseys. So another thing that makes that man great is his great taste in football players.
No doubt.
Hey, let's go.
Oh, one last thing. This isn't news. It is personal news for Sammy, but nothing too crazy. Jimmy J, you just threw up the X. My son, sweet little Everett, has been running around the house. He does a little high, but he says X, X, X. And I'm like,
let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
That's how we teach him. Very last thing. It's just a very quick thing. We have a Dallas Cowboys birthday today. Happy birthday to CJ Goodwin. Hope everything has been fantastic for him. And that's Sammy's news for today.
All
right.
Oh,
happy birthday, Mr. CJ Goodwin.
Special
man, I
teams
forgot something, but we'll talk about it later on.
That's all right. Well, you can always save it. We'll always have it later. So congratulations. Happy birthday, CJ Goodwin. Sammy, you killed it with the news. We've got, like I said, a guest coming up at just at halftime. So we're going to get through this next segment pretty quick here. We got Coach. We got to coach him up.
Let's do it.
We got some fans trying to do some things.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
They don't necessarily. We'll just get right into it. Without further ado, it's time
I want to see what they can do.
The fans. All right. Have you ever tried to kick a football in the snow, Coach? You ever try to do that?
No, I not too much snow here in Texas. I've only been around snow a couple of times. I know how much more difficult it would make it, especially without cleats. You see, that's the first kind of three to even keep his footing.
Oh.
Keeps his footing, but shanks the ball.
Eagles fan ain't gonna do it.
I knew that was coming.
I'm saying. Here we go. Let's go.
I'm sure it's going to look a lot like the other three.
Uninjured, but hard. Oh, you got to roll to that one, buddy. Woo. Good job. All right. So kicking a ball in the snow, not real easy. Any advice, Coach, on if you're going to kick the ball in the snow before we get to this next clip?
No, I barely ever even attempted to kick a ball. It looks like one of the hardest things to do.
Okay. I heard you rub salt on the bottom of your shoes.
That's smart. That
can't be
smart.
true. Now, look, this one I remember from a couple years ago. Everyone's thinking the guy, this guy's played football before. He's going to, handle this. But the girls got the push pass going, the chest pass from basketball, and they're going in one after the other. 9, 10.
And I like how the guy over here, he's grabbing. Look, just go back. Look, he's grabbing two with one right hand and left hand. But you can't throw two balls at once. Like you need that left hand for some spatial awareness. And yeah, you're right, Coach. She's got the push pass.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she was on a roll, drop 7 or 8 in a row. Look, she's up by double.
Holy
wow!
Cow.
Look, they got the counter there. 10. She's got 19, 18. Yeah, she won that. Okay, so
big hug to the big Buckeye. Here you go. Trivia question: what's a Buckeye?
What's a Buckeye, Sam?
Is that mascot right there?
Well, that is the mascot for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's Brutus. I'm not sure if he is a Buckeye. He looks similar. I'm not positive. Best I understand, it's some kind of a pea.
A pea?
Or wheat, like a wheat flour, something in the family.
Oh my God, I just said a chipmunk and you're talking about food.
It's a Brussels sprout. No, I don't. No, but listen, I will tell you this. Here's a little bit of advice. This was a good video for if you can't do what the pros do, adjust and do what you do, right? Take the lesson from the young lady there. She's like, I can't wind up and throw it like Joe Burrow,
what I can
arch back. Like, here's what I can do. And she succeeded. You just have to adjust on the fly. That's how you fan right.
Let's
We'll
see
get
the
into
rest.
this next clip. Yeah, and I left a little audio on this
Can you go
next
ahead and
segment.
read that for me?
Deadass would have made that kick the TCU kicker just missed.
And
I'm assuming that's D. Walsh. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy
Uh-oh.
reading the D. Walsh tweet is D. Walsh himself. So
You
they
can
called
hear
him
the
out.
embarrassment.
Yep, just from 30.
Yeah,
Yep.
he definitely would have made it. So the TCU kicker misses from 31 on the left hash.
Here we go.
He doesn't even no defense to deal with, of course.
Here we go.
He's too low, way too low.
I think it's good. Oh,
Way too
It's
low,
not
way
good.
too left.
listen to the
this
whole
one back.
studio laugh at him. Yeah,
Run it back so we can see him do it a couple times. Where he loses it right here. No kickers ever come off both feet with the bunny hop right before they go to hit their plant.
Oh yeah.
The whole studio laughs at him.
4-4 time. I'm confident I could run a 4-4 time.
You're Odell Beckham Jr.? That's what you think?
100%.
100%.
100%. I'm Odell Beckham Jr.
He said he could run what? He said he could run what?
A
A
4-4.
4-4.
A 4-4. He can run a 5-4.
That's what I was gonna say. A 5-2, 5-4 is gonna be something.
Let's see what he's got in the tank.
Well, the
guys.
takeoff was horrible. The slow-mo looks decent, except the strides are short.
No, hold on.
Oh
Oh,
my
yeah, they're
God.
short.
A 5-4. His legs. Why would you?
Hold on.
Look, I've
Hold
just
on.
got to say though, the finger motion that he's got going on as he's running with the whole I think
Your
that's
finger.
giving him some momentum. I think he's going to run a 3.9 here, guys.
Oh my God. Do you know what his side reminds
No,
me
the
of?
little
Jose?
short, choppy strides.
It's like an old lady at the mall speed walking, just the way his legs are swaying. Like that's
I'm
exactly
also
what I think
180.
of. The old ladies here do that all the time before the mall opens, and that's exactly what I'm seeing.
That's too much. So look, you guys were pretty much
No,
on
he's-
5-4.
he's-
One
yeah,
says
he's-
5-5.
He's barely going faster than the ladies who power walk around the mall,
Now, to be fair, he does have a legitimate reason for his slower time. Check it out.
And you got a 5'5".
I'm also 180.
Oh,
He's 180 pounds, guys. It all makes sense. There's no way. Listen, I'm almost double that guy's weight. I think I can run a 5'5". So let's.
I feel like we should do this.
Maybe that should have been Tom's excuse for running a 5'7". Yeah, at the combine. I'm also 180.
Yeah. And my math is horrible. I'm not almost double what that guy's weighs. That's 360. I'm not an offensive lineman. So I don't know. Closer to 260, maybe pushing it. But that's coaching the fans. Listen, don't say you can do what the pros do without knowing that you can do what the pros do. You can't. We're not going to do this. We're not going to get into this over and over. But there you go, coaching the fans. I hope you
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I
Love
hope you
it.
enjoyed the segment. We got a halftime to get right into because after halftime, I'm so excited to bring in a super duper special guest. So real quick, halftime, make sure you like, sub, turn on your notifications. Don't miss an episode. Don't miss any more moments like the ones we just had, the good laughs. Here comes the good Cowboys content and the good football content, and it can't be bad because when you have a guest like this, Coach and Sam, you're going to get some good talk. It's Landry, I believe you called him. What was it?
Oh well, it's a moniker that Nix will be familiar with. I'm sure he's in the green room there and can hear us. But no, I brought up the mouth from the South. He's our own personal mouth from the South. That's a Jimmy Hart reference.
The voice of choice, the mouth of the South. Ladies and gentlemen, your guy Nix.
Well, hello, ladies
Hello,
and gentlemen.
Ooh.
How are we doing on
How
this
are
fine
we?
Tuesday?
We are doing fantastic, brother. How are you? Sorry about a little delay on your audio there on your stinger.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes things happen. Technology is great when it works. The usual.
The usual. So, man, hey, look, again, appreciate you coming. I know it was late notice. I asked you kind of late in the afternoon. You were like, for sure, I'll shake some things up. I got you. And so always showing love to the Star We Are. Can't appreciate it enough.
Thank you.
And so we won't take too much of your time, Nix. But real quick, let the people know who, just in case they don't, who your guy Nix is and what you're all about, my guy, and where they can find you and what it is you do.
Yeah, man. If you enjoy Dallas Cowboys content, little blurbs of maybe some wrestling every once in a while, and a little video game talk or whatever. But yeah, man, your guy Nick's all socials. your guy, your underscore guy, underscore Nix, NIX. Catch me mainly on the old X app is where you'll find me at. But of course, you can also catch me as we're getting ready to crank up our draft content on Pick Six Sports on YouTube as well. My guy Professor O, Dom, and whatnot. So yeah, Pick Six Sports YouTube and your guy Nick's pretty much everywhere else. I know I'm trying to do this whole TikTok thing, but it's not been working out well for me. So it is what it is.
Yeah, we're
No,
gonna we're
for
gonna need
sure.
that draft content.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's he so genuinely and just kind of just gracefully said, oh, Cowboys content, some of the best Cowboys content talk. This guy is deep embedded. He's been a fan, a good fan. He knows his stuff. And so let's talk a little bit about this stuff. What we're going to do is the first segment we'll get into here, Knicks, is these coaches, right? Well, we've got some hires here. We've got basically the list of probably the most important guys, the names you might know. And so I'll just kind of read them off and go down the list, and then we'll start with you, and you can kind of tell us what sticks out the most and what you like the most about this list. So obviously our new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, our new DC, Matt Eberflus. You got new offensive coordinator, Clayton Adams, who just came from the Cardinals. We got special teams, Nick Sorensen. He just left the 49ers DC job. Running back coach, which is an interesting one to me because it was apparently in the bag for Deshard Choice, and then something happened there. And we ended up with Derek Foster. Deshard Choice decided to stay in Texas, or maybe I'm wrong, but I heard at least that was the rumblings I heard. He just left the Saints as
Some
their
money.
running back coach. Yeah, sure. There you go. Money usually has something to do with it. Andre Curtis, who was just the Bears safety coach. And as you can see, we'll go down this list. This is some of Eberflus's guys I'm believing he's bringing with Curtis, Dave Borgonzi, who just left the Bears linebacker room. And then defensive line coach Aaron Whitecotton, who was previously with the Jets. And our DB coach, David Overstreet, who obviously was also just with the Bears and has come over with that staff. And so, Nix, if you had to say, I like this the most, this guy the most, and here's why, what's the best thing about this list?
Yeah. So I mean, I think overall the stat that is coming together, I'd probably be about a B is where I'm at on it. I think the overarching thing that I like probably the most is look, I want to marry what the coach says, and then I want to see the action afterwards, right? That's what I want to see. And the marrying, using marrying there, right? He said we want to marry the run game to the pass game. Obviously, it talks about things in the Shanahan system and stuff that he wants to do. Okay, I hear you. Well, that might excite you even. Um, and then you watch him kind of put this thing together a little bit, and you look at the hires that they're bringing in. Well, that kind of aligns with what he's saying, right? You're looking at, like I like to call it synergy, right? Synergy of what he's talks about from, cultural things, people that love football, the type of scheme we want to do and what we want to be about. And then the hiring on the backside is lining up with that. I mean, even down to what I thought was very interesting with the running back coach, right? Well, he was with the Saints last year. Oh, by the way, who was the offensive coordinator there last year, right? Clint Kubiak. Well, where did Clint Kubiak come from? The Shanahan tree. See, so things that he's talking about, those things are aligning. Obviously, I think for the first time in a long time, we talk about White Cotton and we talk about Adams for a second, right? The defensive line coach and then the formerly offensive line coach of Arizona, who's now going to be our OC.
Right.
Feels like they're pretty good hire. Like from the people that cover those teams that talk about it, they talked about how, and we're talking about two teams that didn't go to the playoffs last year, but those people that cover those teams and had some good conversations with those guys, both sides said, man, this is a big loss for them. All right. And something that we should be excited about and where things are going. And of course, you look at Arizona, their run game, and Cowboys might be familiar when we went over there, they rushed for 200 yards on us. That was his offensive line and his run scheme, what he's bringing to the table. We're talking about some pick and pull stuff, getting the movement and whatnot. So, yeah, I think I call them meat and potato guys. I feel like they've hired a lot of meat and potato guys that are love football and want to get after it. And if you don't love football, you might not really be in tune with these guys and how they're going to coach and bring it to the table. But I think that's something we're looking for whenever the head coach is talking about culture changing and whatnot. A lot of those things that I look at how they're hiring looks good. When it comes to Eberflus, hey, look, it's not a bad hire. It's not my particular cup of tea as a defensive coordinator. I like a little bit more aggressiveness within that. But look, if you go back and look before he was a head coach, Robert's going to go to the Colts. All 4 years, they finished top 10 interceptions. All 3 of the 4 years, they finished top 10 in fumbles as well. So again, Cowboys should be familiar with him from 11 to 17. Sean Lee's giving him a ton of credit. So that gets me excited about him. Maurice Leofow going into year 2 and understand how Matt Eberflus has worked with linebackers. It's a huge check mark in a position of need. So we're going to see some younger guys probably get a year and get coached up. So again, not my cup of tea from a defensive standpoint. I like a little bit more aggressiveness. Doesn't change the fact that it's a solid hire. So right now, I know we're waiting to see who the official offensive line coach is going to be. We're going to see who the what we got left. Oh, the wide receiver coach. I know we got the assistant wide receiver coach in here. Taquan Underwood, former NFL player as well, but we're waiting for the official. So a couple of things they got to line out. Getting Luda Wells was big for them as well too, because there was people vying for his services. They were able to keep him. He has a great rapport, within the building with the players, and I'm glad that he's back.
Linda Wells.
Yeah, the tight end coach,
Right.
Linda Wells. Right now, my only kind of is Sorensen, and again, he's tied to Shoddy, right? When the time in Jacksonville and obviously the time in Seattle. And the thing about that is the only time he did, special teams work was in, Jacksonville. Like, I'm not worried about the rankings and stuff that people have kind of already talked about. That 21 team wasn't very good, right, at the end of the day. So I'm not really worried about that. It's just the guy's been more heavily defense coming over. I know Shanahan was on record saying that he was trying to find a position to keep him there and didn't. Now, I mean, look, he can bring all the secrets over from San Francisco here to Dallas. So there is a check mark there, if you will, at the end of the day. But, again, for me, I'm like, look, you got an all-pro kicker. You got an all-pro kick returner. I anticipate he's going to be back on the restricted deal, talking about Turpin. Don't crash the plane. You're good. You got the players there. And maybe he gives us something on the defensive side, too, from the coaching standpoint.
Yeah, no, we can definitely echo that on our episode of Coach to Coach that we just did over the new hires, and I was talking about special teams coordinator Nick Sorensen here. I feel like it was just to pick the brain, right? Because like you just said, best kicker in the league, really good punter. You can kind of navigate how your head coach is going to want to decide if you're giving teams even the chance to return them, kick it through the end zone. All these things are kind of decided by the big shots anyway. The special teams coordinator just makes sure they happen. So the hiring this guy, I feel like really was, to your point, picking that brain, getting that Shanahan mind over into our room and kind of picking some of that. So I like that you point out that point.
All right,
Yeah, go
Nick.
ahead,
If it's a B for you at this point on this room and these hires, what does last year's coaching staff get? And they have a performance to go off of.
Sure. I mean, the performance wasn't there. I mean, right? I mean, just keeping it a beam. Offensively, I think it was a big letdown. We kind of 2 years ago we saw how the offense struggled through the first 6 weeks. We saw the change. We see that go through and have the MVP type performance. All pro. You see what CeeDee Lamb, he broke all the numbers possible for the most part in just 16 games. And you felt like, okay, yeah, you lost to Tyron Smith. We understood that. You were replacing Tyler Biadasz. But this offense should be in a particular lane, particularly in the passing game, right? And it just wasn't there. Like, everything was such a tough struggle. And I don't know, there was obviously some difference of opinions, I guess would be the best way to put it, behind the scenes as far as how the running back room needed to be handled and who needed to get the totes and whatever. And then, I mean, we can kind of go into there's certain things, and they mentioned this at the press conference, that Shanahan was wanting to do maybe some more in the passing game of what the newer systems are doing, the McVays and the Shanahans, and maybe, McCarthy was a little resistant to that and maybe caused some, I won't say friction, but a difference of opinion. And, the offense just never took off. I think defensively, right? I think if Zimmer, out of his own volition, right, his own word said, he wished he would did it his way sooner. And I think if you go back and look over the tape of the season, after about week 6, you saw a change in this defense.
A
The rest of
visible
the
change
way.
across
And
the
boy,
board. Yeah.
yeah. And boy, you just wish, well, what if you would have done that earlier? What would have that meant then and how that would have been? So I think you had now. Okay, I'm going to say it. Not crying spilled milk over the wide receiver coach Prince being gone, personally. Okay. And I've been a little bit vocal about it over time. Look, I don't think he's a bad guy or anything. I just, for whatever reason, whatever was being asked, something wasn't happening, right? The Tolbert never really, right, progressed enough to what you expected from him to get to. All the right things were said. McCarthy told about, what he loved about him, but then, taking the notes and old school that way. He put in the work, right? Dak gave him the book, and last year was over, do this, so on and so forth. And he had moments, this last season, not to take that away, but I don't know. I'm not saying the Prince got all the Jimmy and Joes to coach up, but I don't know how much progression we saw there, which is interesting enough because I know Solari catches a lot of heat, the former offensive line coach, which I don't know, maybe he's going to be back. I don't know. They haven't said. But I can actually point to things, but Solari said, well, there's progression. I mean, Tyler Smith became an all-pro offensive guard. You know, you Cooper Beebe, pretty good at center. Look,
Pretty good.
everyone seems to love Hoffman and Bass. You're talking about two undrafted guys who's getting. You saw Austin Richards last year when he got his opportunity before the injury, played pretty well. Well, to me, from a positional coach, well, that's progression, right? You're developing these guys, So I know he catches a lot of heat, but when I look at Prince and the job and what happened with the wide receivers, a little bit of a question mark. But overall, to your question, I'm being long-winded there. I
No,
thought,
you're
I
good.
thought, I thought going into it before we got there, I liked Zimmer the hire.
Like the hire? No.
I thought this offense was going to take off quicker. And
That's fair.
now when I plug what McCarthy did into how he operated with the play clock and where that thing went, that probably turned into a C minus. On paper, I probably felt more like I like the defensive line coach. I call him Coach Cavs. So they brought in too as well with Zimmer. I'm keeping out Harris was good. So, but overall, overarching, just when you tell me to include how things went, C minus, maybe a D plus, just because Zimmer took too long to get to what he should have did out of the gate. And then I don't like McCarthy. I just don't really understand the problems outside of maybe some power struggle behind the scenes. I'm not trying to put anything out there, but with Zeke or Rico Zeke, and some of that, affected things too.
Yeah, I think he said a lot of it. I heard some good things from Schottenheimer in the press conference as well. Like I said, I heard there were some of the right words in tempo and disguise. So it sound.
I mean, overarching to me, and I'm just looking at the hires and the rhetoric, and I mean, you even heard Stephen Jones down there at the Senior Bowl echo exactly what Schottenheimer said. We want to marry the run game to the pass game. It's like, oh, Stephen Jones is synergy again, repeating what the head coaches wanted to do. That's okay. I like that. But to me, overarching, before they even got to the hires, and I put the tweet out, I said, this is super early, but this is when Schottenheimer was hired and the word was going to be Eberflus. I said, to me, this seems like they're trying to go back to what they were from 2014 to 2016, just with today's NFL, right? That's a decade ago, if you will. So they're trying to get back to what they did then, and they had good success in 14, injury to Romo 15, and then a good year in 16, right? So I think they're trying to get back to that just with an updated scheme of that, if that makes sense.
Good, I'm with it. That sounds like running
I'm with
football. Control the clock. Old school.
And interesting enough, have y'all seen Jerry Jones since the press conference? Y'all heard from him anywhere?
Okay, quiet.
I'm just sitting back and taking notes. Did you hear Will McClay sound like a GM all of a sudden down there at the Senior Bowl, talking about putting the coaching staff together, talking about the coaches have say when it comes to the draft and all these things? I was like,
wait, Nick, are you telling me that the Joneses listened to Magic Johnson and the owner over there in Washington and said, "Hey, we just hire the right people and get the hell out the way"? Is that what you're telling me? That maybe?
I think the Joneses are very aware of the temperament of a lot of things that are outside of that building and understand they need to do certain things to present a different package. And I think they're executing that currently. Now, we'll get to free agency. We'll get to the draft. We'll get to certain things and see how things roll because we know Jerry ain't going to stay quiet forever. But I'll tell you what, this time of the year, and Jerry said it in his press conference, in 35 years, I've only missed one Senior Bowl. Well, now it's two because you wasn't there this time around. And so I'm just taking notes as things are moving for what's going to mean for Schottenheimer because, right, that's always the overarching question, right? How much are the Joneses involved with the head coach and step on his toes, right? That's the law of the land, if you will, around here. But something, and I don't know if y'all caught this or not, Jason Garrett gave an interview. This is probably about a week and a half before they did the hire. And the gentleman that was interviewing, forgive me, I forgot his name. I didn't, I saw the tweet, I reposted. You can check my timeline on it. I thought it was very unique and very honest from Jason Garrett. And I thought it resonated well. And it's something that stuck in my head to kind of just watch as this picture gets painted throughout the hiring and who's here and how things, unfold. And he said, and he asked him, what does it take to be a good coach in Dallas? And he said, look, they obviously discussed Jerry's going to be involved and whatnot. He goes, you have to be a very good communicator and you have to be clear. And he said, and that's with the ability to give that message to your roster, your team to understand where you're going, but also to be able to deliver that message to get them on board with what this team needs to look like upwards to the front office. And as he was divulging and going through that, he said the years that we lined up very close to that vision were the years we were good. The years that we strayed away from that vision were the years that, we were down a little bit. And I thought that was very interesting in how, he articulated and talked about it. So I took that. I said, okay, I mean, makes sense. I'm listening to old JG, rock kind of guy, trust the process, if you will. And I said, okay, well, let's see. And then I watched, okay, well, here's the hiring. Here's how things went. Okay, I see Jerry got out of the way. Okay, when McClay got the extension, a little side note, I think if McCarthy would have been back, I don't know if Will McClay would have been back, but that's a different discussion later. And being more upfront than we've heard from him at the Senior Bowl, realistically, in years. Stephen Jones echoing exactly what the coach said. I'm looking at the hires, right? Because it's always, well, are they picking the coaches, or is the coach picking? I think we can look at it and say, well, absolutely. Eberflus got to pick his staff, and so far, I think we would agree that Shotty's picked his staff. So yeah, things are trending in the right direction, and it's okay to be excited. I know Cowboys Nation is very frustrated, and I get it, but it's okay to look at things and like, okay, this is working in the right direction. Now come March, we'll be right back here and like, oh, here they go, same old, same old. They're not plugging and playing, da 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 da. But it's okay to be on board with what's happening right now. I know a lot of people are frustrated about how the process was of getting to the head coach. Things are always different around here, and I understand it. And maybe, underwhelming they thought of Shoddy at the time. But if you looked at from the press conference to how things have unfolded so far, if you're a fan, it's hard to be disappointed in how things have moved.
Sure. Yeah, you can be disappointed ultimately in the name of the head coach if you wanted somebody different. But yeah, you're right. Can't be disappointed overall. Kyle said he hopes you're right. Kyle, I hope he's right too, because I've heard this man talk a lot on a lot of spaces on X. He holds some of the best spaces. And if Nick's was right about most things he says, I think the Cowboys might be in a better place than we are right now. So,
well, I'll tell you what, look, 96% of the time I'm 100% right, but that leaves that 4% still where I'm wrong.
Well, that's not bad.
That's a good way to see it. Yeah.
Nobody bats 1,000. Hey, nobody bats 1,000 in this game. Hey, we do the bet. We read the tea leaves. We do our work. We talk to our contacts, and we try to get the best information to the people and go from there.
We do what we can. So, speaking of information to the people, we have to know, with the 12th pick of the NFL draft, your guy Nick's.
Yeah, boy, talk about a hot button thing the last 24 to 48 hours on that front. Oh my God! It's if you don't take offensive lineman, you don't know football. If you take weapons, well, you don't know football. I'm like, ooh. I said, you know what it tells me though? Ultimately, free agency's not here, and we have a lot of our own personal free agents. Look, man, you just have too many holes that you can fill in the draft. So everybody is going to have their line of what they think needs to be done and fixed. But there's just too many holes. That's why there's a big argument. But ultimately, look. For me, and I've been a Tech McMillan guy from October. Okay, all the way back to October. I've been a Tech McMillan guy. Y'all seen Draft Day with Kevin Costner in it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Great movie.
You remember he wrote a name down and put it in his pocket?
People pocket?
No, I do not.
Oh. Okay.
I got Mason Graham no matter what in my pocket.
For the Dallas Cowboys?
Absolutely. You got to have an interior guy. You got to, like, you talk about Eberflus' system and what he wants to do and whatnot. Look, and honestly, I don't think Ted's going to make it anyways. But I don't think Mason's going to make it.
Yeah, see, I didn't think he was making
Mason,
it.
Yeah, but I think if Mason can make it to 9, I know it's trending to be team trade back. I'm intrigued to trade up to 9 for Mason Graham. I think he's that kind of player. I think it's something that this defense needs. And, again, we haven't had that type of player on the interior since, I don't know, Leroy Glover, David Irving for 5 games. Games. It wasn't long. It's just kind of where it is. And I think he's that certifiable dude. I think he's a 10-year career kind of guy. And I think he's a guy where you can line him up, all across the line. And he's going to put in work. I mean, look, the Super Bowl week's here, right? And I understand it's Andy Reid and it's Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift and all that. Chris Jones does not get the respect that he deserves.
That's right.
Chris Jones is absolutely a monster over there, inside, outside, everything. 100%. And if I go get me a Chris Jones-esque guy for this team, sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it changes things, man. It makes life easier for the entire defense, for your defensive coordinator. If you have that guy up front that holds the nose of that defensive line, it's irreplaceable. And especially with what's going to happen with Osa, how much he's going to cost us. I'm with you. If Osa doesn't stick around, then yeah, I'll jump up for Mason.
Oh, I look.
But
I'll
we
tell
can.
you what. I think if Osa stays, I still go there. Which, by the way,
Wow.
you heard what Stephen Jones said about Osa at the Senior Bowl, or no?
No.
I didn't.
Yeah. So he was asked about that. Said that they are prioritizing Osa in a bring back, and that's one of their number one things this offseason. But again, we want to talk about changing of the guard and different things they do. Said obviously Matt Eberflus to come in and have his input as it pertains to Osa and those things. I was like, and he didn't use pile ones. Like, guys, Stephen Jones didn't use power salary cap talking about bringing back Osa and letting the coach have a say in what's going on with that. It's just interesting times.
Well, I'll go quick. Like we talked about, we had our 12th pick last week. I'm on Ashton Genty. I don't think it's that wildly popular amongst the Cowboys nation, but
I'm not mad at Genty coming in here.
The tape is just crazy. But more importantly, we were looking at kind of first 3 rounds, like the most important needs that where you can viably expect to find starters. So obviously, I want the running back. We need the receiver. I'm looking to find that in free agency. I feel like there's names out there. We basically, this is just my plan is to eliminate a need by going to receiver in free agency and running back, defensive tackle, offensive lineman.
And so, Sam, real quick before I give mine, and we'll get to this next segment here. What are kind of your top 3 needs? What's your focus on this draft?
Okay, so you guys know I'm really bad at the draft. Just because with
You
all
said trade
3
for Tony Pollard right now. I already know.
Look,
Trade back for
so-
Tony Pollard. I got you, Sam. I got your back.
You know
See,
what?
Nick
though?
knows.
I think I'm just a running back person because that's high on my list. I can't find
Yeah.
it, but I did have. I gotta find my list.
Last week, Nick, Sam had Travis Hunter falling to the Cowboys. So that was her pick.
Okay, but that's gonna be
Man.
luck, maybe, just because of wide receivers are more common to come by, in my opinion. So
I mean, two birds, one stone. We get a starting wide receiver and cornerback, just playing both ways. There we go.
Man,
You know it'll never happen.
both ways.
I
I might
know.
be the only one, but okay. So I have my 3 needs is kind of 5. I have wide receiver, running back, and then I have a tackle. Maybe I have nose tackle, linebacker, and then I wrote NCB, but I don't remember what that stands for because
Maybe
You wrote down a nickel corner, yeah.
that's what it is.
nickel
because
cornerback.
the only reason I wrote those is just based off of who I know it's for free agents, like who's up for free agency, and I don't know who's gonna get signed and whatnot. But that's what I put.
You're over there with Nick's. We just have a bunch of holes. That's yours has to get solved by free agency before you can narrow it down.
Oh, I mean,
Right.
yeah. I mean, right now, I mean, it's like the ocean. I mean, at number 12, you can throw a rock in the ocean, you're going to hit water. At
Right.
number 12, right now, you can throw that rock, you can throw that card at any position, and you're going to hit something that you need at this moment. Facts.
All right, here you go. Real quick, Nick. Nick Scorton is from Bryan, where I grew up. What do you think about Nick? What do you think about defensive end Nick Scorton?
Did himself some favors for sure at the Senior Bowl, huh?
Yeah.
He had a little bit of leg issue, and I think that might have hurt him somewhat, throughout the process before he got here. He's a guy.
You just want
wouldn't be a
defensive tackle more. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be 12 for me. I mean, look, I think Mike Green's going to be in the conversation at edge at 12. I think that's what he's done. Scorton for me would be a second round, or maybe if you trade it back, depending on how the board fell, is kind of where it is. 12 would be too rich for me for Scorton, though.
There you go.
Yeah, for me, I'm get me a wide receiver in round 1, Ibuka. If Tet's there, obviously,
definitely.
12. But he won't be. So I'm team trade back and get me a receiver. I'm taking Trevion Henderson in round 2, and then you can shoot for the moon after those 2 rounds. I mean, I would like a defensive tackle, of course, obviously, but I'm not sure who falls in round 3. But I believe with the way we're going to try to run the ball and play defense this year with the staff we've hired, get me a wide receiver and running back to make this offense click. It has to. It has to. So we'll move right along. Nix, I know you've heard of it. The entire sports world has heard of it.
Oh my
What
gosh.
in the Luca happened? What did they do? We've got to talk about Laker Doncic. On your scale of 1 to worst in history, where does this trade rank?
I guess it depends on who you are. Man.
Yeah, I mean, look, and this is coming from an Orlando Magic fan, so let me be clear. I'm an Orlando Magic fan.
Yeah.
This I've tried to rack my head around the trade now. For I guess what 48, 70, however long it's been. I don't know, man. It's egregious. And look, and let me be clear. Like, if you want to move on from a guy, it happens in the league, right? I mean, it happens. It's the package. I mean, Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges gets 5 firsts. Rudy Gobert gets 4 firsts. Fox gets traded from Sacramento like the next day. That gets 4 firsts. 1 first, and then you hear you don't get the kid from Tennessee, right? Commit, right? You don't get him. Like, okay, you go get what this guy's doing with the Anthony Davis and about 5 firsts, 4 firsts. Okay. I mean, you might not like the trade then, but okay, but you felt you might have got a little bit more adequate compensation. Here's the thing. It's the wildest thing. It's the wildest trade I've ever seen. Let me just say it that way. It's the wildest trade I've ever seen because you didn't do your due diligence as okay, we're going to trade him, let's shop and get the best deal, right? And you just kept it tucked and you sent him on his way, which is insane. Like, this is a trade. Like, go back to the Herschel Walker trade for a second for the Dallas Cowboys, right? But the way that thing was set up, they didn't know they was going to cut the guys and get the first. Like, there was a little sleight of hand there within that. And also too, we're in the day of analytics, how this game moves, and that's all pro sports versus trades in the 90s or 80s. Like, for that kind of trade to happen now is mind-boggling to me. Like I said, I'm not a Mavs fan. I feel bad for Mavs fans. Like, I don't get it. Like, the closest thing in my brother
franchises do not.
Yeah,
get
my
traded.
brother. Yeah, at 25, at 25, nonetheless. My brother, who is a Mavs fan, he's a little bit younger than me, and I said, but the closest thing I can equate it to, and it's still not a 1-for-1, is I will remembered when Shaq left and went to LA. Now, it's a different set of circumstances. He wasn't traded, but I absolutely remember the absolute gut punch feeling and everything and how that went then. It's about the closest thing I can get to it. At least my team didn't trade him for a bag of beans, you know? And I'm not trying to disrespect Anthony Davis, but he's 31, 32. He's injured a whole lot. And a first round pick that's probably not going to get you much. I don't know. How do you keep your job after that? I have no clue.
He's at the very, very tail end of his prime, if he's not already past it. And it's like with the single first round pick, it almost felt like it was just straight up. It's hard to fathom. But I guess the reason you've touched on a lot of the Lucas stuff. I guess the reason we got to this segment, what's the worst trade to kind of bring it full circle in Cowboys history? Everybody knows.
The Joey Galloway trade didn't do us no favors, right? 2 firsts for Joey Galloway, and look, and that's injury, right? He blows the knee out. Things happen there. Yeah. So, but the Joey Galloway trade is definitely up there. People will probably look. Roy Williams.
I got Roy Williams. Yeah, I got Roy Williams. 3 years, 1,200 yards.
Yeah.
First,
a third, and a 6,
and a 6 from the same draft. Yeah.
Yeah. That was.
And what about you? If you had to compare, or not really compare, because it's hard to compare this trade, but what does it remind you of Cowboys wise, trade wise? A bum trade that you remember happening, Sam?
Oh, me. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here taking this all in. So you guys know, well, I don't know basketball.
I'm right there with you, Sam. I'm trying to take this in too still. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Well, yeah. Okay. So real quick, let me ask a question before I answer your question. If you were to do the Luka and Anthony Davis trade in football terms for somebody that does not watch basketball.
I got you.
It?
I got you. It's like the
good question.
The Kansas City Chiefs traded Patrick Mahomes for Matthew Stafford and a first round pick.
Okay.
That's all you got. You got Stafford in the first.
Right, where it's kind of like you're like, that's not going to kill the Chiefs, I guess. Matthew Stafford's all right in a first round pick, but
he'll give you 2 more years, maybe. It might give you Stafford might give you 2 more years and come up with that first because Mahomes is going to be with the Rams probably in the Super Bowl or deep in the playoffs, so you're not getting anything return of value there.
Maybe even more accurate, the offensive player for the defensive player, your same team, or well, not same team anymore, but you're getting Aiden Hutchinson in a first round pick. You know, you're getting a superstar defensive player, but
Sure.
that's not making up for
Yeah.
the king. Basically, this is the best offensive player in basketball. So that's
See,
why
I knew that part,
that's why
but
he makes
that's
the
how I
Mahomes
knew.
reference. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so well, I guess I only have 2 trades that I really know of that hurt my feelings. Number 1 was Amari Cooper. Number 2, Tony Pollard. But you guys know I'm so late to really nose diving into it, so it's just all recent. But that's all I have. I guess I don't know. Yeah, that's mine.
I'll
Sorry,
go
something.
recent and I'll go recent. I just don't like the 4th round picks that we've just been throwing away the last few years. I can understand a little bit on Trey Lance. You know, quarterback position has value.
Hold on now. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater on Mingo. Hold on.
Well,
Don't do it
I was gonna
yet.
say
Don't do it
I haven't yet. No, I was gonna say if Mingo doesn't produce this year, then I'm gonna put it right up there with Minky. Then it's gonna be equally as bad. But for me, the whole the Dallas trade, and we'll get to this last topic. It's just you move on from Dirk. Luka gets to play with Dirk a little while. Dirk passes the torch. Luka says, I want to be in Dallas forever. He shows up to LA, gets off the plane, and says, I'm happy to be here, y'all. Like, the dude was a Texan already. Like, what are y'all? Just the face of your franchise, best player in the league. He just took you to the finals.
Texan.
It makes 0 sense. I wouldn't care if it was LeBron James coming to Dallas. It wasn't a good trade. If it was LeBron James and Anthony Davis and a 1st round pick coming to Dallas, it wasn't a good trade in my opinion. So
tell me about what you were saying before we got on here about the way Luke has been packing that arena, how the nonsense of the trade and what Anthony Davis's value is going to be in Dallas.
I don't know if it's going to fill arenas like Luka did. That regular season, and I took my daughter to a few. She's a basketball lover. Her birthday present every year is I want to go see a Mavericks game. So I try to take her. And that regular season, no matter when you go, that place is filled from Luka. I don't know if Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis give you that same.
Did y'all see? I mean, I don't know if y'all saw the news or not. They're refunding some of the season ticket holders right now. Yeah, so that lets you know how filled it's going to be.
Wow,
you know?
That's crazy.
And look, here's the thing, right? It's new ownership now, right, in the building. And if you get into the brass tacks, Nico, Nike ties, different things of that ilk, and what he goes through. And look, this is where, unfortunately for the NBA, this is where it's such a bad trade. Sam, here's the thing. It's such a bad trade. Everybody now has their tinfoil hats out, right? Because now it's the ratings are so bad in the NBA. There's no way, and you just talk to them, you just shit them over there. I mean, even if I'm not mistaken, I think Dwayne Wade even said it feels conspiracy-esque. But if you go a little bit deeper, they wanted to put some casinos that got struck down there. So it almost begins to feel like, hey, look, Adam Silver's like, look, make this happen. We'll fast track you to Vegas so you can get your money and everything else, so on and so forth. So again, to me, it's such a bad trade that now the tinfoil hat conversations have entered the chat. And that's how bad it is. Whether that's true or not, right? I mean, Nico even had to come out and say, hey, we're not going to Vegas. Like, he had to address it, right? So that's how bad this trade is, on that front that you have. I mean, everybody talking about there's something aloof. Something's not right. There's something that we don't know. And,
even more to it, right? It gets broken in the middle of the night. It's 1:30 in the morning in LA. Luka doesn't know anything about it. The reporter who breaks it, it's like his first story. I mean, not his first story, but it's not a high profile guy who breaks the NBA news. It was odd all the way around.
Luka just bought a $15 million house in Texas too. Like he officially made it home and
right. He was sick. And like you said, some underlining things, Nix. My only thing was, and I asked Landry, I was like, Luka's on this little injury. What if the Mavericks know something about this injury that's going to be long term and very lingering that they didn't disclose to the Lakers? You know what I mean? Like maybe something like that is involved. Who knows? But crazy trade, not good. I don't think anybody agrees. Unless you're the Lakers, you don't like.
If you're a Lakers fan, you can't believe it. You just hit the lottery.
You're loving it. You woke up the next morning going, yes. So
like, there's no way this happened. This can't be real life. What's the LeBron James meme where he's got his holding cities in the pool? That was every Lakers fan.
Yeah, that's it. All right, we're gonna get to this last segment. We got to talk a little bit. It is Super Bowl week. We got to talk a little bit of Super Bowl. We're gonna play a little way over, way under.
Today we're gonna play a game.
What game?
A game I like to call Way Over or Way Under.
Okay.
Want to play along?
No.
So I hate that stinger, just to let
I'll play.
everybody know.
I'll play.
Kills
You'll
me.
play along.
I'll play.
So we're gonna play along. So we got some way over, way under. We got the Chiefs favored by 1.5. We got the total points for the game at 49. We've got Mahomes passing yards at 251.5. Jalen Hurts is passing yards at 214.5, and Saquon Barkley's at 113.5. And these are numbers based basically from across the board, a bunch of different betting sites, all the different ones. And so we kind of, if anybody was off by a little bit, we kind of squeeze them together and marginalize the numbers. So what we'll do here is we'll start with the score line. We'll go across the board, and you're going to tell us, and we'll give you the target numbers, and tell us in the chat. Play along, definitely. You're going to tell us if you think it's going to be way over that line or way under. So what we did with the first score line, Chiefs winning by 1.5, is, Coach, we decided to go 6 right here, right? And
Right.
so you're going to tell us if the Chiefs are going to win by 7.5 or more, or if the Eagles are going to win by the 5.5, or what would it be, 4.5 or more.
Made me gag hearing you say
Right,
that.
So a 6-point swing either way. Do you think this score line is going to be way over or way under, or is it on the money? Nick,
I mean, look, you already. I'm Chiefs. This will be an easy segment for me. You ain't gonna get me on the open mic saying anything about the Eagles.
Unfortunately, we're Cowboys fans. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's just not going to happen. So you're way over on the Chiefs.
Yeah. Chiefs by $1 billion. I don't care. Get it out of here. Nah, honestly, was it 6? 7.5 for the Chiefs?
7.5. Yeah.
Right.
I got the Chiefs winning by 7. So
that would have to basically count as a way over.
It's close.
Yeah, it is. I have to go. I mean, realistically, the real answer is it's on the money because that's what they do. It's always on the money, But yeah, Chiefs way over, and that's going to be a consensus. But y'all go ahead.
Well, Landry, you can't say stuff like that. It's always they're on the money, because then you get the it's scripted coming into play. That's what
you would think it is the way they do it.
All these guys are doing right now. They're reading their script, and so they can play their part this Sunday.
Yeah,
because that's a real thing. Sam, I won't make you go last. What do you got? You got way over, way under here, or is that more right on the money?
I'm conflicted. So of course I'm hoping. What is it? Okay, so I'm hoping that I'm gonna have to say right on the money. Of course, I want the Chiefs to absolutely kill them out there, but Chiefs are they've been lacking. They have barely skated by, and
a lot of close games.
And I'm hoping that they have a scheme hiding under their sleeve that they're gonna pop out and do some crazy stuff and absolutely dominate. But I just feel like this game is gonna be way closer than I would like it to be. Edge of the seat, yelling, "No flying Eagles!" Like that's trying to be appropriate. So I'm gonna say right on the money. But I do hope it's at least a 2-score difference.
While you're probably right, and while you guys are probably right with the on the money, because this game probably does come down to Chiefs are down 1 or 2. They kick the 3-point field goal that Mahomes gets them in a position, and then they win by 1 or 2. That's why this line is set at 1.5. That's what Vegas is betting on. I'm going to stir the pot here, and I'm going to say the Eagles win this game by 10.
Oh.
Yeah,
so I'm going to go way under on that.
Fired.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to head out, y'all. This has been fun. I'll talk to y'all later.
Right, Nick.
You can fire me.
That's rage bait.
Listen, I think they're going to run the ball. I think the real MVP of this game is going to go hammer time on the Chiefs defense, and they're not going to be able to do anything about it. I had to stir the pot. I
feel like you're just saying that because there's no possible way.
When we get to these other numbers, well, we'll see. So total points 49. We went 10 here. So this is the total game points combined for both teams. They got it at 49. 39 being way under, 59 being way over. Sam, we'll start with you on this one. Do you see a way over or way under possible here?
Gosh. I'm gonna go way over. That means the 49 is too many, right?
No, that means you think the total game score is going to be 59 points or more. Meaning if you combine the two teams' scores together, what's the total game points?
God. Ooh, this is hard because I'm so stuck on this being such a close game, offense and defense. I almost don't think they're going to score that much. I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth. I hope nobody has to. I don't know. This is so hard for me to decide. I'm gonna say this is way over, and I'm just gonna stick with it so you can move on and I can get out of my head about it.
Coach, where you at on this one?
Oh yeah, I'm way under on the points. It just seems like especially if it's like if I were actually having to bet and having to bet way under. Just seems like the obvious. The Super Bowls, tend to be a little tight opening up, except for a couple, oddities I can think of. No, I can see it being 21-17.
21-17. That's a
I'm way under.
38-point game. Knicks, where you at on this one?
We're
Point
pretty
total.
close. I got it. Yeah, I got it under. I got it. Yeah, I got it under. I know the last game I know was a little bit more high scoring. Don't talk about the bad
Mhm.
field or whatever. No bad
Sure.
field this time for sure, and where it's at. So, but I think both teams bring a pretty good defense to the table. We've seen again the Chiefs, right? The last game they played, they scored 30 points. Hey, look at there. But throughout the
True.
season, right, they were one of 4 teams that didn't score 30 points all year. They were the only team with a winning record in that. So, yeah, I'm with the under.
I'm right at the way over line. I'm right at 59 points. So I've got this game, 31-28. Eagles winning. I know I said they're going to win by 10 or more, but they're not going to win by 10 or more. But I do have them actually winning this game. And no, I'm not just saying that because I hope it's reverse psychology, and then they'll actually lose and da 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 da. I just don't see the three-peat happening. And here's why: I think they get out early. I think that causes the Chiefs to want to throw it more and pull some of their schemes out that Andy Reid's going to try to light it up in the second half, which is why I got the total going way over on 59 points exactly. With the Eagles winning 31-28. And so we'll get to the passing yards here. We got Patrick Mahomes set at 251.5. And so we went 30 we chose 40 passing yards. So Mahomes either fixing to have a great game and go 291.5 or more, or the Eagles are going to stifle him and he's going to have 181.5 or less. Your guy Knicks, way over, way under, or is this
No, on the money. Yeah, that's on the money.
On the money.
Sam?
Okay, so you just explained it to me, and one day it'll make sense, but I think he's gonna have more than 251. I think he
Okay.
has D-Hop, he has Worthy, he has so many options to take that. Xavier Worthy is good at the long shot, so is D-Hop, so is Juju.
Sure.
I feel like it's gonna be more than that. It's just up to Eagles defense, but I think Patrick's gonna kill it passing.
Give me a
wise.
rough number and I'll tell you if you're way over. How many passing yards is he going to throw for?
Oh God, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna say 320 or more.
See, that is way over for Sam. Coach?
I have my hopes up.
Yeah, I'm way over in the neighborhood of plus 300, 305, 315, but keeping the score down, kind of like I said, being under on the points, maybe a couple interceptions, not a perfectly clean game that keep the score down, but I do think we'll throw it around for over 300. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I'm over.
Yeah. No, I'm over as well. I'm at with Sam 320, 330 game because I feel like I know these defenses have been it, right? And we kind of saw this with the Patriots and the Falcons. Dan Quinn had that Falcons defense even though they did give up big leads, which they did in that Super Bowl as well. That Super Bowl ended up, what was it? Scoring, how many points was it? The Falcons Super Bowls.
34-30 was it? Yeah, it was like
both teams ended up in the 30s. Yeah, I can't remember exactly 34-30 or 33-30. So that's where I'm at. And so I think for Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to lose this game, 34-28. There you go. So I think he's going to have to throw 300 to lose by 3. On to Jalen Hurts, who, listen, I don't know what happened here. I looked all over. I scoured the web. This was the best picture of Jalen Hurts I could find.
Good looking.
He's going to be missing an eye by the time the game's over. It's okay.
Wow. I'm not trying to wish that on him, but I'm just saying that's the best picture I could find. So bear with me on the phenomenal graphic there. I'm just kidding. I don't respect the guy or the team. So I'm sorry. Jalen Hurts 214. We got 40 here. Is he going to go 255.5 or 174.5? Way over, way under. Your guy Knicks.
I think he'll be right around that 174, maybe 185, 190.
Okay, so looking at a way under there for Jalen Hurts. Coach, where you at?
I have to be way under. I don't know how many times he threw for over 200 during the season. This is one where it feels like it's set too high. I'd like to take this bet, not the way under bet, but the under real easily. So yeah, way under.
Sam, I guess you're gonna echo that.
I'm gonna say way under just because this isn't the Super Bowl for the Eagles. This is the Saquon Bowl. They have relied on him so much, and I can see them, do it again, hoping that he can bulldoze his way to the win. But yeah, I think it's way under.
Well, unfortunately, y'all, this is going to be the Jaquan Bowl because Jalen Hurts is going to throw for 370. All right,
his life.
and
Just making-
Saquon Barkley is going to run for 170, which is way over the 30 yards that we added to his number at 113.5. Your guy Nick's 30 yards plus or minus for Saquon. Is he going to run for 143.5 or more, or 73.5 or less?
Mhm.
Ooh, that's
I
hard.
got him right around 150.
Okay,
Yeah,
close.
I got him right around 150.
Okay, I got him close.
But that's going to be the offense that gets it go. Oh, no. Not this ain't the
Smacking
Rams
the-
defense. You forget about Chris Jones over there, brother. That's okay. I understand.
No, I know.
Do you not wait. You know who that defensive coordinator is, right?
It's not
Mhm.
Spags. It's
You know what he did with the Giants, what he's in
The
over.
Spags.
Oh, okay.
it is Spags.
Okay. I think like
Mhm.
gold jacket status, that kind of guy. But hey, I think Saquon's had a phenomenal year. He should probably be the MVP. He won't get it. We know it's a quarterback award.
Mhm.
I think look, the one thing about Saquon, he's shown this traditionally. You can be shut down, but he'll find a way to break a big one.
To break a big
You know,
one.
He always
is what
gets one, yeah.
He
Well, then-
usually gets one, no matter what. Even when he's with the
Mhm.
Giants and how atrocious that line was, he'd find a way. So I imagine he's going to find a big one. They're going to lean on him because it's going to be a close, tight game. So yeah, I got him in that 140, 150 range.
That's all pretty logical. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna go under just based on the idea of him not getting that 150 yard. Really getting contained for
Sure.
3 yards of carry. And it just doesn't happen this time. Plus,
See, I know
I'm just not even gonna pretend to entertain the idea of the Eagles winning. I've been trying to get him
And-
out for 3 weeks.
that's what the problem is you guys are being unrealistic because
Well-
you don't want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. And again, I'm not
I
doing
have
this
been a
just for
Cowboys
some reverse
fan.
psychology.
I've been a Cowboys
really,
fan
really
for
think
30
the
years.
Eagles
I've been
win.
unrealistic.
Oh, I
There you
feel
go.
that,
Boom.
Landry. Oh, that's funny.
No, the Chiefs are going to get spanked.
Got
I'm
something
just
in your
saying
eye there,
NFL
Jimmy?
Look, NFL already put in the money for the trademark three-peat that Riley had.
Yeah.
It's been written, sir.
Mm.
Oh,
It's
the
been
cheap.
written.
What is that? The cheap heat?
There you go.
Cool.
But I think it's close
The
though.
Chiefs.
I mean, look, I think it's close. Look, I think it's going to come down to the end. I think it'll be 17-17, and then Mahomes is going to go down there like he does everyone and breaks their heart and scores a touchdown and wins 24-17.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's I have to agree with Vegas. I was just talking a lot of nonsense, trying to rub some reverse psychology on these Eagles. That score line right there, 1.5, just looks like a Chiefs hitting a field goal to win it. It feels
But
right.
here's the thing though, Jimmy. Here's the thing.
Mhm.
I do think
to me.
this team is better built to beat them than the last time they played them, though. I absolutely
that's-
do believe that.
Well, if you look at that
And to
guy
be
down at
fair-
the bottom, he's
Yeah,
why.
I mean,
Right.
look, Jalen Hurts' game might have been his best game ever that he played against the Chiefs in that Super Bowl. It was a phenomenal game
True.
from Jalen Hurts, putting the ball
Right,
in
he had the
places
fumble, but
up and down. Yeah, I'm outside the fumble, but everything else that guy did was insanely good for him.
Yeah.
Now he hasn't really played up to that since, in my opinion. But that game, boy, when the lights were on, he did it. But again, you have that Jalen Carter Davis in the middle in what they're bringing. That defense that found its way, especially the last half of the season. The rookie corners coming on. I think their defense is better now than it was when they played a couple years ago. And then you add in Saquon Barkley and what they're able to do there. Now there's the Kellen Moore hitch. I don't, hey, I mean, hopefully he doesn't, he stays out of his own way with the play calling and whatnot. But yeah, I think this team is better built to beat the Chiefs this time around. I don't disagree with that at all. But to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Mhm.
And Trey Wingo brought it out, talking about the playoffs and hey, getting the ball with the score, you got to go get it. And he gave you the Drew Brees numbers, the Peyton Manning numbers, the Tom Brady numbers. There's only one guy that's 100%. It's Patrick Mahomes. So I mean, until he doesn't do it, he's 7 for 7. Until
Get it
he
done.
doesn't do it, I just don't know what to say when it comes to that. And look, and a lot of it is their defense and what it is, and that defense and what they look last year, right when they went to Baltimore and they only scored 17 points in the first half and they win that game. Look,
Yep.
in that Niners Super Bowl, right? The big key turnaround was that defense got 3 straight 3-and-outs in the third quarter, which allowed them to
As soon as
do
the
what
game
they do.
started, yeah, second half.
Yep, and that's the thing about Mahomes. If that defense gives him that stretch run like that, he's shown the propensity to make you pay. You don't have to be Superman all the time. That's our problem in Dallas. We want Dak to do more with less. It's not about being Superman all the time. It's being Superman when you need to be. And that dude is yet not to come out of that daggone phone booth with the cape on and deliver. And again, no disrespect to the Eagles. They're a better built team to beat them this round. I think it's going to be close like the last time.
Well, there's
but
another
I think
quote.
Mahomes gets him in the end.
There's another quote that the coach gave me the other night, which is not only does Pat Mahomes not lose the game, not make the negative play, he always makes the play that's there to be made as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He doesn't miss the big plays.
Yeah, he don't fumble the ball when he's not touched like Hurts did last time around.
Ooh, yeah, right, and that's the thing. That's it. So, Nix, again, I appreciate you taking late notice, jumping on the show with us, man, giving us your knowledge, your insight, playing a little way over way.
Hey, man, brother, anytime, man. All you gotta do is hit me up. I'll jump out. It's fine.
Awesome,
Something's got to pop out.
So,
I gotta ask y'all a question though. But I gotta ask y'all a question.
Yeah,
I gotta ask y'all. Hold on,
Uh-oh.
because it's been on this realm. If they go Simmons left tackle, Ohio State at 12, what is your reaction? How do you feel?
Oh, why is it making...
Okay.
Was that a
All
proper
right.
reaction? Was that?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Not
I guess
at 12, bro.
I'd have to get more familiar with the Simmons tape. Like you'd have to show me a reason to be excited that okay, this one's a guarantee. This is a Tyler Smith type guarantee and not a Tyler Guyton type project. Then I could live with that first round, eat that first round pick or try to trade it for something.
My question would be throughout this process here, and as we're watching this thing unfold and the draft talk and everything within the fan base and how it moves, is we know the Bears have an atrocious offensive line. I need to understand why if they don't take him, why is he the right call for us? Right? That would be a big question mark for me in that standpoint. I know medicals can shake out differently for different teams and whatever the case may be. I understand that, but people don't want to tell me, oh, well, Genty's never going to be there because the Bears are going to take him. But then those same people want to sell me on, well, the Cowboys need offensive line and not a playmaker. And I'm like, well, whoa. Well, don't tell me the Bears are going to take Genty then, and they need offensive line, but that's the move that we should do. So, yeah, look, the draft is always fun, and people have their own ideas about how to go about it and everything. And it's heated up very quickly already here in February in that. So, as that was kind of spinning the block in the Cowboys Twitterverse, I wanted to see y'all's reaction. I saw the faces, fair enough, or the walk-off even.
Just not at 12. I mean, if you trade to the bottom of the first round or, late in the first round and snag him like you did Guyton
get Jimmy his fourth round pick back and it's okay.
Guyton, give me my pick back. Not that I don't think Mingo can be it. Just give me my pick back. Because why? Look at last year's draft. You give me my pick back, you land a Cooper Beebe. Move down in this draft. If it ain't Genty, if it ain't Graham, if it ain't one of these guys, move on down. Give me another pick.
I feel you.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So we're gonna get out of here and let Landry give us a little 2-minute spiel. But Nix, we'll get you out of here first. Let you get on your way, brother. Again, we really, really do appreciate it. And everybody in the comment in the chat, make sure you follow him on all your socials. Give him a round of applause. Your guy Nix. We'll see you, brother.
Adios. Incorrect. That was not James
Stinger. That was.
I was like, wow, I changed.
We'll see you, boss. Oh my goodness, that was not James Slater. That was.
I was gonna make the joke that he did go platinum after all, but.
So, oh boy. So a pretty good show up until the point where Jimmy just completely slayed your guy Nix's outro and played the James Slater stinger. That's too much. Sorry about that, Nix. Again, thanks for being on. Fun guest. Really good on his stuff. Knows his stuff. So y'all all go check him out. We're gonna close this show. Our man Landry's gonna get right into it. We got to get the clock up here for him. Just in case you missed it, make sure you go follow us. Like us, subscribe everywhere we are, the Star We Are on all your socials. You can catch the show every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Go back to the beginning and watch if you need to. But just in case you missed it and you're with us, Landry's going to get us up out of here with a little 2-minute spiel. Sam, before he does, anything you'd like to say?
Go Chiefs for the Super Bowl. And can I say what we always say to say? or say to do.
Please do remind the folks to.
Always, always, always be smart and fan responsibly.
I love it. All right. Landry, you're on, brother.
All right. 2 minute spiel. So we got the most important part out of the way. Everybody like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and fan responsibly. Kick the show off. Sam gave us the news as always. We look at some of all the coaching hires that we have. We think we had 8 new coaching hires on the board, almost a full new staff. Had Nick's come in here and give us some really, really detailed information. He's always great on knowing a lot of the back end and a lot about other teams and where these guys came from. That was fantastic. We had we went a little out of order and did Coaching the Fans there. Second weekly installment of Coaching the Fans was really fun. We looked at some average Joes, trying to be pros. Some guys trying to kick the ball in the snow, no cleats, and the Dr. Pepper challenge. And we're having a lot of fun with those videos. Took a look at this mind-boggling to everybody on this show and everyone that I've seen anywhere on X at this point, anywhere on the internet at all. The new Laker, Luka, LeBron, Doncic pairing combination. Nobody understands why they did it, but the Dallas Mavericks just became, gosh, their fans were outside bringing coffins to the stadium and so forth. So they've got it worse than we do right now. I'm a Mavericks fan myself, and luckily I'm also a LeBron fan, so I can live with the Luka thing over there. But it was a pretty big tragedy. An unfathomable. I don't know. I'm lost on that one. Afterwards, we had a draft focus though, and looked at some of the major positions each of us would like to have filled. A lot of consensus on running back and defensive linemen and so forth. And then some way under brought back for the first time in a couple months. Some way under on some Super Bowl stats, and everybody's kind of looking at mostly a high scoring game. We were pretty much over on Mahomes and Saquon and the score and everything else. And I'm running out of time. We got to go.
Hey, not too bad on the 2-minute drill. Coach got us basically there, except for just saying that he just gave us the 2-minute spiel. So I think he got us there. I think he completed it. Way to go. Sammy already told you to fan responsibly. I'm running the timer again. Jimmy's over here making some technical errors. We're going to get up out of here. Catch us again next Tuesday. Sam, before we do, though, just tell them one more time, and I'm going to kick the stream up out of here. Always, always, always. What? Oh, you are so muted, girl. You can tell them one more time.
I
that
said
was
it
always
so loud.
I know, and I
too.
knew you could tell.
I was putting some oomph into it. Make sure you guys fan responsibly.
Too
Y'all
much.
take care.